Hi everyone, welcome to the channel Awakening Vegan Yogi. My name's Elise and I'm a yoga teacher. I trained in India and I have been teaching for the last couple of years. I'm from Australia and I taught there, and I teach here in the UK where I live, and I've also taught in Spain and Germany, and I've taught in a variety of settings, from large yoga studios to small ones, to retreat centres and to community centres as well. I'm also an artist, so you can see some of my artwork here, and I'm also a vegan cook, and I also have a vegan label of art and fashion called 9 Lives Vegan. So I'll just tell you a little bit about how these classes are going to work. So in this video I'm going to give you an introduction to yoga, what it is, and then I'll explain to you the sequence of videos, how that's going to work. I'm going to also tell you about the benefits of yoga, and at the end we're going to do a little breathing practice just to get us grounded in these overwhelming times. So the sequence that I'm doing is the introduction now, and then the next 3 videos. So the second video will be a warm-up where we're doing postures, asanas. The third video will be sun salutations, and the last one will be mat work and shavasana, which means spinal relaxation. So those next 3 videos add up to a 60-minute Hatha yoga class. And it should be accessible to anyone. If you're new to yoga, if you're a beginner, or even if you're a seasoned practitioner, it's always really good to come back to basics. I advise you to take these classes. If you do, you can do each sequence on its own, just 20 minutes, or you can do the whole lot together, do 1 hour. But I invite you to do these classes during the daytime, at the latest around 6 p.m, because generally after 6 p.m. we're not doing strenuous things that kind of activate the system, like sun salutations. You can use the last video, the mat work and shavasana, for an evening practice. So what we need for yoga, we don't need any special clothes, just leggings, shorts, tracksuit, whatever you're comfortable in and whatever you can stretch in. It's good to have a mat, and that stops us from slipping, so it's a non-sticky surface. We also use foam blocks in yoga, but you don't necessarily need one of these. You can use other things if you don't have one, things you just have around your house, like a towel, a rolled up towel to sit on, or sometimes we use blankets as support under the knees, under the back. So it's always good to have these things with you when you're going to practice. It's really good to be in a quiet room and to have undisturbed time for yourself. So those are the things that you need to practice. So what is yoga? Well, yoga, it's an ancient practice from India. It's based on the Yoga Sutras that were written about 5,000 years ago, and it's also a spiritual practice and a universal philosophy. Yoga means unity. It means understanding our interconnectedness with everything else around us, so that we all breathe the same air, we all share the same oxygen, we all breathe the one breath, and as all life forms, we're all interconnected and interrelated. And that's pretty evident at the moment, that we're all breathing the same air, and it's affecting all of us at the moment. So what better time to be really aware of our interconnectedness, and knowing that it's really important to take care of ourselves, and yoga really helps us with that. It's a mind-body practice, and to take care of other people and everything around us. So what are the benefits of yoga? Well, like I said, it's a mind-body practice. So on a physical level, the asanas, which means the postures, they help us to increase our flexibility, which helps our circulation, it helps our skeletal system, it helps our nervous system, it helps our digestive system, basically helps all the systems in our body on a physical level. And on a mental level, The asanas also help us to see things in a different way, so not to be so rigid in our mindset, because we're looking at things from a different perspective. Sometimes we're coming into downward dogs and planks and we're doing inversions. Sometimes we're twisting. So just looking at things from a different angle, opening up our perspective, and this helps us to stay positive and to stay calm. And also the breathing practice really helps to reduce anxiety and stress. So all round, it's a great boost for your physical immune system and also for your psycho and emotional immune system as well. So why awakening vegan yogi? What's the connection there? Well, the first observance or say guiding principle of yoga is ahimsa. That's a Sanskrit word and it means harmlessness or non-violence. And it's really not possible to practice ahimsa when we have animals on our plates because they've been harmed in order to get there. So I think the connection with being vegetarian and ahimsa is quite clear. But why vegan? Because products like eggs and milk, those animals are also harmed in the process of getting those products, and ultimately they also go to the same slaughterhouse and end up as meat just like the rest of the other animals. So it's difficult to practice ahimsa and have animals in your diet. But that doesn't mean that when you practice yoga you have to be vegan. It's part of my personal practice because for me it's very important to align my ethics with my actions. So that's the connection for me. But as you practice yoga and your mindset becomes more flexible, you might become more interested in the idea, or maybe you already are vegan. So if you are, thank you for your kindness to animals. So the connection also of karma and community. So I've called these good karma community classes. Karma, I'm sure you all have heard the word thrown around. It's all over the place. Basically, it just means what you sow, you reap. So I'm planting these classes here for you, and I hope that you reap the benefits of it. Before lockdown and quarantine, I used to teach in community centres, and I used to teach also donation-based classes in public spaces. That meant that I gave the class and people gave a donation. So that was according to their means. So they just gave what they thought it was worth and what was within their means. So I'm giving you a link in the notes here, and if it is at all within your means, because lots of us are suffering economically at the moment, but if it's at all within your means, please look into offering a donation. Just think of it that I'm like a busking yogi and that's my hat, and if you can throw a coin in, that's great. It would be really appreciated because I'm kind of out of work like everybody else at the moment. So I really hope that you enjoy the classes. We're going to start with a breathing practice, and this is a really good one. It's a belly breathing practice to really get us grounded and to get us calm. Just remember that the first thing that we do when we come into this world is we breathe, and the last thing that we do when we leave this world is we breathe. So getting back to our breath really helps to get us out of the mindset of being stressed or of being anxious and spiraling into thoughts that take us away from where we actually are. So let's just tune into our breath. Let's start this. We're just going to have a short little meditation practice of how to tune into our breaths. And whenever you are feeling stressed or anxious, you can always just come back to this practice. So I like to take a block to raise my hips above my knees when I'm doing a seated breathing meditation practice. But you can, again, if you don't have the block, you can just roll up a blanket or take a cushion or something to sit on if you want to, if you want that extra support. So I'm going to come up onto my block, and I'm sitting with my ankles crossed. I'm quite comfortable like that. You might want to sit with your legs just crossed like this. You might want to kind of straddle the block, or you might want to sit on your knees or your heels. You might be comfortable like that. Just find where you're comfortable. If you're not comfortable seated, as some people aren't, you can always just come onto taking the feet hip width apart and just come onto the back. And if you like, you can even bring the knees together or just leave them parallel, just coming onto the back. And you can stay like this, kind of something between being seated and lying down. Or if you're comfortable seated, you can just stay seated. So I'm going to be seated for this one. So it's literally just going to be really a few minutes of tuning into breath. So let's inhale, take the shoulders to the ears. Exhaling down. You can have your hands over your knees if you'd like to contain your energy. You can have the palms facing the sky if you'd like to receive energy. Or you can have them in a chin mudra, that's a hand gesture, mudra. And that's your thumb and your forefinger together if you'd like to create a loop of energy. So however you're feeling today, I'd like to receive some energy. Always remembering to keep our chin parallel to the floor when we're seated. And we're going to just start tuning into the breath. So I like to close my eyes, but you might like to just lower your gaze. Just remember that your chin needs to stay parallel to the mat to keep the spine nice and tall. So I'm going to close my eyes, and let's just start to notice the sitting bones sinking into the block, into the mat, into the earth, just weighing down there. Start to bring your awareness to your spine, noticing the vertebrae stacking one on top of the other, like the beads of a necklace. And just imagine that necklace is coming out the crown of your head, gently being pulled to the sky, just keeping you nice and tall. Shoulders are down, relaxed, chin parallel to the floor. And just start coming into your breath, noticing where it is, without judgment, without changing it. Notice the cool air coming through your nostrils, down the back of your throat, into your lungs, into your heart. And notice the long breath as you exhale. Just the rise and fall of your breath. Keeping the eyes closed with gaze lowered, just bring the left hand to your heart center and the right hand to your belly. We're going to start to deepen the breath from here. And as you inhale, take the breath all the way down to expand your belly. And as we exhale, just notice the navel sink to the spine. Inhaling, belly expands. Exhale, contracts. Inhaling, expand the belly. Exhaling, contract. Inhaling, expand. Exhaling, contract. Take 3 more breaths in your own time. Nice deep belly breaths. first inhalation, bringing the left hand and the right hand in prayer position at the heart center. Bowing the forehead to the fingertips and bowing to the earth. In unity, in yoga, in interconnectedness with all sentient life. And blinking the eyes open and rising. Namaste. Thank you everyone for joining me in this very short practice, in this introduction video. Please like, share and subscribe, and please enjoy the following classes that I've uploaded for you, the 3 videos. Practice in your own time. Share them with anyone in your family or your friends who you think might benefit at this moment. It's really a wonderful practice for our immune system, for the mind and for the body. And thank you again.